Alrighty, y'all. Good morning, good evening, good whenever you guys are watching this. So we are live Tuesday, August 1st, here bright and early in the morning. Took me a little bit of time to get ready this morning just because my daughter took a little bit longer to go down. But I do or should have everything all set up. I'm pretty sure it's just unknown coder 1234 and next and password. We can start working on our application. So this is where we're sitting at now. We need to basically work on this posting function, and some of the stuff isn't supposed to be here. This is supposed to pop down, this is supposed to pop down, so on and so forth. And if you do take a look at the walkthrough, I did a little bit of work off camera because I thought I was going to have time to record all of this, and I hoped that I had time to record all this, but it ended up not having enough time. So we're still going to, basically work on this and kind of go from there. And right now, what we're focusing on is if we go to the real Twitter, we click on this, this stuff pops up, and this is supposed to be grayed out. I'm not sure how we're supposed to do the location. There's probably a setting inside here somewhere. If I go to profile or something, let's see, if we go to profile and edit profile, so there's nothing on here that has a setting. There's got to be a setting somewhere that does this for you, but I'm not that concerned about it. Go back to home. We'll need to do this, how many tweets it has. This is probably going to be with whatever it's sockets or something, so we'll see how that's going to work. But yeah, I want to basically get this, and the thing about this is if we type in this, so you just type yada yada yada, it starts going down like this, and that's something that we need to do. We also need to figure out how we're going to do this part. This is another tweet underneath, so we need to figure out how to add this part. Yeah, so this is what we're going to work on today. I have some code that we can borrow for this part, I believe, and we'll need to figure out how to do the circle. I think maybe we could do a circle gradient, and I'll show you guys a website that you can make gradients on. And the circle gradient, what we can probably do is have a circle on top of a circle, and then it just kind of fills up 0%, 1%, 2% as we add items in it. And I think that might work. So give me 1 second to pull up the repository that I'm thinking of, because I do have a repo that I've done something similar to this, and we'll see kind of what we go from there. Let's see. So what I can find here, components and create. Okay, so we have to do a little bit of fancy work with the text area. So I'm going to get rid of the real Twitter, and I'm going to pop up. I'm going to get rid of this for now. I don't think we need that. And this will be number, let's see, 17. So number 17, set up. We create post to expand downwards. So now this needs to be, let's get rid of this. It's not going to be a navigation, so we don't need to go those components, although we might need that plus sign, or actually we might not need the plus sign. We can probably figure out how to do that just with some text. Probably won't be that big of a deal. Probably spilled on myself. Okay, so we need our feed post creator. So I'm just going to say feed post creator. And I did it like this because we're gonna have probably a different different post creator for other parts of the screen, for other parts of the application. So that's the reasoning behind that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in here, feed post creator.tsx. All right, so our text area is right here. So what we're going to do is, let me think. So we're going to need a function and a reference. So let's go ahead and grab useRef from React. UseRef. And then we're going to set up a reference to this. So I'm just going to say function, or actually we're going to say first const text area ref is equal to a use ref, and this is going to be in HTML, and I guess we need to do it like this: HTML text area element, and then this is going to take in null, and that's just kind of how these refs work. And now we're going to have a reference to we come down in here to our text area, and we say ref equal to our text area ref. Now we can access like actual DOM level elements or DOM level attributes of this text area, which can help us get some information about basically how we want to resize this. So now what we're going to go and do is we're going to go ahead and say const auto grow. We don't have to call this auto grow, but I'm just going to call it auto grow equal to this, oops, an arrow function. And then we're going to say if our text area ref, and we have to make sure that it's actually active or whatever. We're going to text area ref dot current, and this is a TypeScript thing. If you're not using TypeScript, you don't have to do all of this. So if this is the case, we're going to say text area ref dot current dot style dot height is equal to, and we're going to make it 25px. And I don't know if we're going to be able to see anything with this. They can't really tell anything at the moment. But right now, if we type in here, you can see it's only going to be 25 tall, and it's just going to keep going up and up and up basically. And I need to think, I think Twitter is 100 or 256 characters limits now. So I do need to go ahead and set the character limit on this as well. So we'll need to do that. But then what we're going to go and do is, as it gets bigger, we are going to go ahead and say text area ref. No, incorrect. Text area ref dot current dot style dot height. And we're going to recalculate the height. This will be equal to, and this is going to be text area ref dot current dot scroll height. No, oh my goodness, I can't type. Where is going on? Scroll height. We're going to say plus pixels, and hopefully this wants to work. And now what we need to go ahead and do is we need to use this auto grow, and I need to remember how we do this. So down inside of our text area, we're going to set up a couple more things. I'm going to make some space here because it's going to get a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to do this and this, and I might also just go ahead and do this. Okay, so now we have our ref. We're going to have an on change. For the on change, it's going to be auto grow. And then we're also going to have a columns. So the columns that we're going to have is 50. So we're going to have about 50 characters, give or take, per row, or column, I guess. And then we're going to have a max length of 256, because I think that's about what Twitter uses. So now, hopefully, this wants to work. Okay, and we do have a little bit of an issue. So we're going to need to figure out how to resize this guy. But as you can see, as we type, it gets bigger and bigger. Now, obviously, this line here, I think this must be a fixed size. So now what we might want to do is, I don't even know what that is. So I guess first, let's go ahead and that just be the entire feed post creator. That's too small. So I might just have to recreate that. So let's go ahead and add our auto grow and text area ref and put it in here. And then we'll also throw in the, and I don't know why this did this. Now that can grow with that as we want. And now we also want to go ahead, whoops, and modify this guy, the text area. So copy the text area in here. Paste that. We're gonna need to modify a couple other things as well. We'll figure out how to modify them in a second. Clean this up. All right, so now we can move the text area. Now it seems like our CSS, so let's see. Yeah, so we have just a width here. So what if we say fit content instead? And save. Let's see what happens. So, hey everyone. I have this awesome post. So as you can see, this is all good. So now that is fixed. So let's also go ahead and say inside of the walkthrough, next we'll say 18, change the, was this feed post creator class, CSS class, change the feed post creator CSS class to be fit content. All right, and this is feed post creator CSS. We'll just copy this whole guy in here. Where'd it go? Feed post creator. Make it so it's fit content, so it kind of scales with it. All right, cool. So there is that. That looks pretty good. It looks kind of how like Twitter does it. You can hit enter and so on and so forth. Cool. So now we need to have a couple different states, I suppose. Because by default, if you take a look at Twitter and you refresh, who knows what's going to pop up on my Twitter because the for you is horrible. So as you can see, it doesn't have the who do we send this to and all of that stuff. And post is also disabled in a slightly lighter blue color. So let's go ahead and set up the CSS for that. So the CSS in here, so we have the audience, so the audience, and then we also have reply. So what we might want to do is we could say like hidden, I think, like so, and hidden like so, and that should get rid of those, except it didn't. Interesting. Do we have to say hidden equal to true? I don't think we have to say true, right? At least I didn't think we had to. Hidden true. Okay, so that isn't going to do what I expected, and we are in the post create TSX. Yep. So let's see. What if we say display none on the audience? Let's see what happens now. Okay, so we just need to throw display none. And I have a feeling that breaks that, doesn't it? Yeah, we're gonna have to do. And then what happens if we do display none on the let's make sure there's no, also let's make sure there's no like, okay, there's no hover effect. And if we also put display none on this, what's gonna happen? So now we need like less margin on the top there, more or less it looks like. Or we need more margin on the bottom or something, it looks like. I don't think there's any CSS on or any margin on the creator, but input, there is margin. So what happens if we get rid of margin top now? Whoops. So now if we get rid of margin top, that looks good. Except now I think the margin bottom might be a little bit off. Let's see. And there's no, whenever you click on it. Okay, so now we need to get rid of this border whenever it's inactive. So let's see. I think that's going to be in the creator icons. So if we do this and save and take a peek, that's about what Twitter looks like. We might need to adjust the, well, actually that might be pretty close. I mean, other than it being slightly off, I guess the post button is pretty small. Oh well, I don't really care. I like it being bigger. It's not gonna be perfect. So cool. So this is basically what we want to go for. And even I might get rid of a little bit more of that margin bottom. So where is the input? So margin bottom still seems a little bit big to me. We might not want to get rid of all of it, but it looks a little bit better. So what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to go ahead and create a state in here. So just grab use state. And we'll just go ahead and make a const active. And this will be equal to use states. We'll say active and set active equal to use states of a boolean, and it'll start out as false. The only thing that sucks is that you can't unclick it on Twitter, it doesn't seem like, because if we go into Twitter, we click on it, we click off, nothing happens, but it is what it is. So we'll have active and set active, and then whenever we click on, and I think it's literally whenever you click on anything inside this, and I'm just waiting for something horrible to pop up. Yeah, if you just click on anywhere, it sets the cursor or the thing to the active, and we should try to figure out how to set that. I'm not really sure how to set that, but we can probably look into that. So whenever we click anywhere on this, we're going to say on click equal to, and then we'll say I don't want to call it create post, I'll just call it activate, I guess. And let's go ahead and create activate, and actually I'll put it above auto grow because it's going to be before we call auto grow. So const activate, and it doesn't have to go above it, equal to, I don't think we need the event for this one. We'll say if not active, we'll say set active equal to true. So now that whenever that's active, we'll change the CSS. So what I'm going to go and do is I want to create what we could do is we can throw another class on let's see. So we need it on input, on audience. So I'll go ahead and say something like, hey, this, and then we'll say active question mark. If we're active, we'll call feed post audience dash, and then we'll say dash active, I guess. Otherwise, we'll just call feed dash post dash creator dash audience. So either we're active or we're not active, and then we'll do the same thing with input. So input class name, and we'll modify this, and this will be active question mark, and if we're active, we'll be active. Otherwise, we're just going to be feed dash post dash creator dash input. And the same thing with reply. We'll set this up as well to see if it's active or not, and then kind of dynamically set the class. So active, so if we're active, we'll have an active. And otherwise, what we'll say is feed dash post dash creator dash reply. And honestly, I don't know if I want to create whole new classes, so I might literally just say audience like this, and then audience dash active. And then what we'll do is the same thing here and say like input, and then input dash active, and then reply dash active, because we already basically have a lot of the CSS created. So whenever we click this, I don't want it to basically go undone. And we'll also need a not active for the button, but we'll need another one for if there's anything inside of it or not. And we'll have to say something like feed post button. And this one we'll need another piece of state. So we'll just say like const. What do I want to say? We'll say const. How do I want to do this? Const post content, and set post content is equal to use state. This will be a string and it'll be empty. So whenever we have post content, basically we want to put that in there. So we'll say const handle I don't want to call it create post, but handle text input on change, I guess. And then e colon, this will be react dot change event on a React or HTML text area element. And let me actually set up the arrow function properly. And this will be basically set post content to the e dot target dot value. So get the value out of that and put it into the state. And then what we can say is on here, we'll also have, we already have it on change. I guess we need to just do, let's go ahead and change the auto grow. I don't know why I didn't have it like this in the first place. We're gonna need go ahead and actually put that in there. So copy this. This isn't gonna be something I want to store in state, I don't think. Paste, and then set post content. I don't see why this would be a problem doing this all in one. So we'll set the post content, and then we'll also resize the area. Let's make sure this doesn't like break anything for some reason. Hello. Goodbye. Yeah, seems fine. Cool. All right. So now we have that. So now in here we can say like post content not equal to an empty space colon. Then we'll have, we have to have a question mark. So then we'll have that, and then we will have so this one would be that, and I guess this one would be feed dash post dash creator dash post button, dash, and then it will be post dash active, I guess. The other thing that we might want to think about is a disabled, because we don't want this button enabled if this is the case. So then we might also say enabled equal to, I guess it would be disabled equal to, and this one is true makes it disabled, false makes it disabled. So we'll say post content equal to empty space, I guess. And whenever it's equal to empty space, it should be disabled and vice versa. So I think that should do that. And we'll also need an on click eventually, but we're not there yet. All right, so I think this is good for this. And if we need to make any modifications, we can. So now in the walkthrough, 19, set up the, how do I want to say this? Set up the feed post creator for the changing creator TS and paste that in there. Okay, now we need to go ahead, and this one's 20, I believe. 20, we need to set up the CSS, set up the new dynamic CSS. All right, so now what we'll go ahead and do is in the CSS, basically, how do we want to do this? Because right now this is display none. And ooh, we might have to do this the opposite way. We might just have to say like hide for these ones. So we might have to say like, instead of active, we might say like hide or hidden or something. And same thing with this one. Or this one might be okay, because this one we just want to add extra styling to. But this one will also just say hide. And we'll do it in reverse, I guess. So let's fix this. And I think this one is probably fine. This is why I always plan these, because random things change like this. I'm like, oh, let's tweak this, let's tweak that, and then it breaks everything. So now instead what we'll do is we'll make a hide. Hide. And we'll say display is none. And then what we can do is whenever we come up here, we can get rid of this display none, because we'll have that class that hides that one. And then there's another display none here that we can get rid of and save. And let's see if this works the way that I was thinking it would. Not quite. Let me refresh. Okay, it does. So we are just active. So now if we click, it pops back up. And now we also need to, well, I guess I didn't add the style on the button to make sure if it was disabled or not. But we also need to add the all the other stuff back to it. So that means we also need to probably fix one other thing. The border top needs fixed, so I'll have to deal with that as well. But now what we can do is also add what I call this input active. Yeah, input active. We need to go ahead and copy this and say dot input active. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy these margins and just paste them in here. And that'll make our lives a little bit easier. It'll add the margin back on it, or at least I think it will. And there we go. Except for some reason, I'm not sure why Oh, it's supposed to look like that. I was gonna say, why is it doing that? It's supposed to look like that. Cool. That looks good. And now we need the button to be grayed out, as well as we need to fix the so we're gonna have to do one more thing. The bottom icons, I think, is what we had. Let me take a look at this again. Where did we comment out? Yeah, bottom icons also needs an active. So bottom icons, we'll set this one up too. We'll say active question mark. If we're active, we're going to add our border. So let's say icons border, I guess. Otherwise, it's just going to be this icons. Again, we'll need to set this up inside. We'll have to copy and paste this again. So now what we should be able to do is add an icons border. The icons dash border. We'll copy the border like so, and get rid of that, and save. Now the border is back, kind of like Twitter. Now we got Twitter, we got ours. Of course, it's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. It is what it is. And finally, we need the post button to be fixed. So we'll say post button, come back to post button. So this should be, let's come into our temp mail. I'm going to say hex to RGB converter, one of my favorite tools by Rapid Tables. And we're going to, I have this somewhere. I'm just lazy to find it. Way easier just to Google this and paste it in here and convert it. Copy this. I love this tool. And we're gonna make this an RGBA. Paste RGBA, and maybe like 0.5 or something, and save. And theoretically, this should be disabled. The hover still works, so that means. So we need to figure out. I'm gonna add .active. Or, how do I want to do this? What was I calling this again? I was calling this post active. I'm gonna add this to post active instead. So I'm gonna say, instead of this, we're gonna say post active as a hover, and we'll say post active. Here it's gonna be the same, except instead of RGBA, we'll just have the blue color. Do I have the blue color? Here we go. I should just literally import bars and stuff all over the place, but I'm lazy. That's not quite what I wanted. I wanted background color. The post active should be that. Okay, so that means post active. So that means that this. So for some reason, post active is not working for some reason. Why is that? Oh, because I did it backwards. We want, if it's equal to empty space, then it should be inactive versus the other way. Okay. Hello. Active. There we go. So I think that sets that up. That looks good. Obviously we need to make these drop downs, and we need to make these buttons do stuff, and I need to make this disabled somehow. So let's see, where is that SVG? Ooh, how are we gonna do that? I guess we can just say BG. Can I say hide on this? Is that gonna hide the entire element? Dang it, it will. What if I just get rid of this class name? I feel that's gonna break. Yeah, that breaks that part. Oh, I'm gonna call this feed post creator location. And we're gonna set up a CSS for that as well, because that one's a little bit different. But okay, I'm gonna copy this once more. I think that we're done modifying this for now. We're gonna modify it again to set up the last bit, but it is what it is. So now let's go ahead and grab this creator location, which is basically going to be the same exact thing as post creator icon BG, except it's not going to have a hover on it. Oops. So we'll grab the display flex and all this. We don't need a border radius. And now that should be back to good. It doesn't have a hover like the other ones. These ones have hovers. And we're gonna have to go through and literally set all these up. This one will be pretty easy. That's just adding media. The GIF, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do a GIF keyboard. The polls, ooh, do these have little pop-up things? So we're gonna have to figure out as well. Media, I'm guessing that's just an ARIA thing or something, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to figure out how to do that, because this just has an ARIA label, add photos or videos, media. Yeah, I'm not sure what causes that one, because that just has a class on it, that just has a div and a span. So I need to look into how to do that. But yeah, because it like pops up like, oh, media, polls, emojis. And I thought that the emoji keyboard was going to be pretty difficult, but I think it won't actually be that bad, because each one of these emojis has a icon, basically. Or not an icon. Each one of these emojis has a what's it called? An ASCII value. This is going to be difficult. I don't know how we're going to do the GIF search. But the emoji, at least, this is going to be somewhat easy, because all it's going to be is more or less getting all the ASCII values for each one of these and just throwing them in there. The scrolling across the top might be a little bit difficult, but we'll figure it out. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So it's looking good. So now where we're at is, I guess we need to copy the CSS that we made for all of this, I suppose. So let's see, what did we change? We changed the audience and audience hover. We did the hidden or hide, right? We made hide. Thank you for the like. Let's go ahead and throw set up the new dynamic CSS. CSS, we made hide. And then what else do we make in here or modify? So we made post active and post active hover. And we changed these. So copy that. And then we also changed. We made the creator location. That way this isn't broken. And then we also set up icons.border. Change these. This is the most difficult part, is finding all the things we modified. And then we modified but active. Copy this one. Paste it in there. Then we modified it. Cool. So now whenever we refresh, starts out like Twitter's. We click on it, it pops up. We refresh, we click on it. We need to figure out how to set this to active. I think that should be somewhat easy. Let's say set text area to active with JavaScript. Activating writing text area. So let's see. Although we don't want display none, we can just focus, and that could be pretty easy as well. So what we could do is, let's say 21. Set focus on the text area if someone clicks in the post creator div. And this will be pretty easy. So all we're going to do is come in here and on the activate on click. So activate, what we'll go ahead and do is we'll say if text area ref and text area ref dot current. Then we're going to say text area ref. We should be able to say dot current, and we should be able to say dot focus. I think we should be able to do it like that according to this. Whoops. I broke something. Expected an assignment or function call. So do we have to say focus equal to true? No. What's the problem here, officer? Line 2348. Text area dot focus options. Let's see. Go back here. Text area focus. Autofocus. I don't know if that's what we want. Let's see. Oh, it's a method. It's a function. Okay. That'll do it. Click on it. Haha, we got it. Voila. So now it's just like Twitter. You can't click off of it because I don't know why you would be able to click off of it, Twitter, you know? So that one was a pretty easy fix. So copy this guy. Cool. So now, how's it going, Viking? Hope your morning is well. My morning's going all right. So now, let's see. So we got basic functionality here. So what I'm thinking is now there's a little bit more that we got to work on. So on real Twitter, whenever you start typing hello, a thing pops up beside the post that has a small circle and a as well as a plus icon. So once again, we need to add, hope you're doing well. Once again, we need to add another thing for active basically. And I think what I want to do is I want to go to gradient, a CSS gradient generator. Oh, good evening. Are you over in India by chance? Or some other, I guess you could be in the UK or anywhere, I guess. I just work with a lot of people from India and know that it's a way different time zone over there. So let's say that we want a radio, and let's say that we just want one color. Let's just say that we want the Twitter blue. Let's see. Twitter blue. Where's Twitter blue? Grab the Twitter blue. Yeah. Whenever we're working with people from India, it's like whenever we have meetings with them at 9 a.m. it's like 7:30 over there. So I definitely get it. Okay, but let's see if we go. So I want to do like this. I want to get rid of this color. How do we get rid of this color? Get rid of that color. We'll do that. And we'll do this. We'll add one more. We'll add like 2 more colors. We'll do like 5%. And I want the same color on both of these. So this is going to be a little bit weird probably. But I'm going to see if I can get this to work. Paste. It's the same color. And then we're going to add another one at like 6%. And it's going to be completely like this. Ooh, it's not quite going to work the way I want it. Just going to make a perfect circle. Dang. I was hoping I could do, let's see, CSS gradient, make lines. Let's see. There's a way of making CSS gradient. This isn't what I wanted. What was the gradient maker that I used? Something similar to this. Although I don't really want radial stripes. Let me see. Let's do a little bit more research. CSS. Circular. Progress bar. Let's see what we can find here. Here we go. So progress bar just has a radial gradient. That's what I was trying to do. But it wasn't quite doing what I wanted. So I guess you could probably do about what I wanted to do somewhat easily. Looks like it's somewhat easy anyway. I don't care about the percentage. Looks like you can literally just say this and then change how much gradient. So radial gradient, close to side, white so much percent, hot pink so much percent. Although white 79% doesn't look really white. I don't know. We'll play with it and see what happens, because it's pretty dang small. Okay, so now I guess what we should do is wrap the post inside, or the post button inside of a new div, and set up the plus icon and the other thing. So let's go ahead and say yeah, so I'm trying to live stream every Tuesday and Thursday, just to kind of have some more content. So definitely gonna try to keep going. I start around 6 o'clock Central Time, or Central US time, whatever. So about 50 minutes ago, and that'll be between 6 and 6:15. So between 50 minutes ago, adjust that to your time zone. I'm gonna try to stream about every Tuesday and Thursday. Sometimes I might be a little bit later, sometimes it might be a little bit earlier, just because of the way life works basically, but yeah. Alright, so what I think we need to do is we need to go ahead and wrap this button into a div. And we'll copy the button and throw it into the div. Oops. And we'll just call this class name equal to, and we'll say feed dash post dash creator dash post cluster, I guess, or submit cluster. How's it going, Chandler? Hope you're doing well. Or Chandler. I'm sorry if I said your name weird. Sometimes I can't talk. So we'll have this cluster, and this shouldn't change anything right now. Whoops, let's go to the fake Twitter. So right now it isn't really changing anything. So Twitter has like the circle guy, and then like a plus icon, also another circle. So how do we want to do this? So we'll do first, let's fix this because it's kind of broken. So I guess, and this might also need to be bundled together. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll do first, it's a div, I suppose. And let's see. Let's cheat a little bit. How did they make this progress bar? It's just a min value. Awesome. I appreciate that. The first one is just a roll progress bar value, min value, and max value. Or the other one is to wrap a progress element inside of a div. Is a progress element real? Is that a real thing? There's no way that's a real thing. He had to have created that, right? Set up display circle. We want to use a few HTML as possible. Process away. No way, there's actually a progress bar now. Wow, I am behind the times on CSS. So if we say div and then progress, no way, that's a real thing. Wow, I did not know progress was a semantic tag. That looks horrible, but we'll make it look a little bit prettier. Okay. So we're yoinking some code here. So we have a progress bar. Value will be set to 0. And I guess we still need to wrap it in a div. I'm just gonna copy this for the time being. I know, it's gasp, stealing code. We'll yoink this a little bit. Class name, instead of progress bar, this is gonna be feed dash post dash creator remaining. This is gonna be remaining characters. I can even say remaining chars. I don't know why it doesn't like style. Maybe it wants this. It might want this. Let's see. Visibility hidden. Okay, it just doesn't like it. Well, we'll get rid of this, I guess. Doesn't like a min either. Interesting. Not assignable to. Does that have to be a... No, min just doesn't exist. Interesting. So progress does exist, but it says that property min does not exist on HTML. Is it possible to do it with no code? What do you mean possible to do with no code? What does this have on property? Let's see. Detailed HTML props, blah blah blah. So what does exist on this then? Because it looks like the HTML tag does exist. So what does it look like if we do... It looks like value works and max works. So I guess min just isn't a thing in React. Yeah, interesting. So min isn't a thing in React for some reason, but max is. So obviously that bar looks horrible. So I'll have to style it and make it look prettier. But we have some styling here. So we have a width, height, border radius, and background that we could probably play around with. I mean, I don't know how to do that because I'm not into AI. So you might have to look elsewhere for that. But I'm sure there's tools out there possibly. But I don't really like using those tools because then I don't really learn anything. And it's not really that enjoyable, more or less. So let's see how big Twitter's little circle guy is here. Inspect. But if that's how you want to learn, I'm sure there's something out there. So this is just a div. I guess they did it the other way. So they said that there's two ways you can do it. You can do a div class and role progress bar, or you can do this way. And if you look at the way Twitter did it, Twitter actually did it with the role progress bar, aria max, and value now. So I mean, maybe I'll do it that way then. We'll see how many of these actually exist inside of React, I guess. Let's see. So get rid of this and paste this. This is what React uses. So class name, again, I'm not going to call progress bar. I'm going to call it. And what is your problem? Is it aria? Div, class name, role, not assignable to type. But maybe we won't do it that way. We're gonna keep it the way that was working, I guess. So we're gonna do this, and I'm all for, you know, AI and whatnot, but I think it should be used to more or less assist and not used to actually replace learning and all of that stuff. So I don't necessarily like recommend people like using it to learn. I'd rather learn it first, and then once I know how to do that. I don't really know much about AI, so I don't know how much helpful I'm going to be on that one, unfortunately. So I am going to make a class name on the actual progress bar as well. So I'm going to have a class on this. I'm sure there's some good YouTubers out there that are more, I guess, know more about AI. I don't really know much about AI. I am looking into a little bit of the OpenAI API for a project I'm doing, but haven't done that yet. So maybe in the future, but I'm not going to do it to like help me code or anything. I have like a idea to like generate some things with it, just as like a side byproduct of the application I'm doing. So was a progress that, and let's see. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the submit cluster in there. Bottom dot submit cluster, and we also need to make sure that we can hide these at some point, but it is what it is. So I'm just gonna say width is fit content for the time being. Display will be flex. We'll justify content space evenly, I guess, and align items center. And we'll see how that looks on this. Okay, looks good. Now obviously we need to make this smaller. So that's what my original goal was, to see about how big this is. 30 by 30. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll grab the feed remaining chars. copy paste this. So inside of the thing that we're yoinking code from, the progress bar, which is the top one, has width, height, border radius, and this stuff. So, and I'm wondering if we're gonna have to change the CSS on this. So width will be 30. This will be 30. I'm gonna put 100% on this. And then obviously the background needs to be the color that I want. So I'm not sure what the white 79% does, but this should at least get us a circle. And that's why we need to hide the other one. And that's still pretty darn big. 30 pixels by 30 pixels. But let's also hide the progress bar. So let's see. So I called this progress. So let's get rid of that. And then we'll say display. Actually, I think they used like hidden or something. So they used visibility hidden height width 0. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. So visibility hidden height 0 width 0. And okay, not really spaced that well. So I'll need to figure out how to fix that. And let's see. It's definitely way too big. It said 30 by 30. I'm gonna bring it down to like 20 by 20. I have a feeling that this might have to be a styled component because I'm gonna say 25 by 25 maybe. That's a little bit small. I have a feeling this might need to be a styled component because I'm guessing, well, let's see. If we come in here and we say the value now is 5, what happens? Value now is 5. What does this look like? Does this actually do what I want? Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make this a styled component, unfortunately, so that we can control how much actual because the value is fine, max value is fine, but we need to control more or less this. So like, I don't know, like white 79%. So let's say if we did white 5%, what does that do? Okay, so we want the white 79% in there, and we might want closer to 80 or 85. I think that'll make things thinner. Yeah, that makes things thinner, and that might more closely. Still a little big. I don't know, maybe 70. Let's say, let's go to 80. Now we want, instead of hot pink, we want the Twitter blue. And I don't know, we want this one. Like that. And then we just want white. Actually, we want gray. Did I break that? Yes, I did. We want to get rid of hot pink. And then we want the Twitter gray, which is in the app.tsx. And I think we want the light gray at that. Copy and paste this. Maybe. We want that gray color. Okay, that looks somewhat okay. It's still a little bit big, and we need to figure out how to actually get the progress bar working, because This is not working. And maybe we say 20 by 20. I feel like that's gonna be too small. Oh no, that actually might look about right. So, how the heck? That looks pretty good. But the thing is, whenever we actually type the value, so we have 5% in there, value's 5, the max is 100, and save, progress bar didn't go down. So now I need to figure out how the heck to get this to actually go down. Is it because the actual progress bar itself? No, it has a value. Progress bar is a value. Is it because the actual progress bar is hidden? It might be because the actual progress bar itself is hidden. I bet if we say, let's see what this looks like if we come in here and we delete this. I guess I probably shouldn't have done it like that. I bet if we do this, I bet it shows the progress bar. I bet it shows about 5%. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I was concerned about. So how do we get the actual circle to load? Because like, do we even need the progress bar? Or can we do this all with CSS? Like, what if we do 5% on this one? Yeah, that's what we actually want. We don't even care about the progress bar itself. I mean, sure, it'd be kind of nice to have the progress bar. But really, what we need to do is, I guess, set this up as a its own component, basically, and do it that way. So in feed, I'll say new folder, and I'm going to call this feed post creator remaining, or I'll say progress, I guess. And we'll make a new file, and I'll call this styled feed post. What do I want to call it that? Let's call it feed post creator. Progress.tsx. And now I gotta remember how to do styled components. I think I have one in here. Photo drop down. Styled checkbox. Just export const. I guess I probably could have called it styled whatever, but whatever. So what we're gonna do is import styled from styled components. It's been a while since I've used a styled component, and then we just export const, and then we say feed post creator progress is equal to, I think it's styled.div, and then you do backticks. I think that's how we do it. We're gonna need a interface, so we need the percent that is so basically what we need is the percentage that is used up, I guess, more or less, because if we go into the CSS, it's how much percent have we used. So what we can do is we might be able to just do something like this and just say like percent colon number. I might have to say props. I don't know if we really need to create. Oh, it doesn't like that. Can I say props colon this? I don't want it to be a pain. And I guess we can just see what happens if we keep it like this. I just have a feeling it's gonna be a pain in the backside. So we'll see. And this can be super simple. All we really have to do is just copy the CSS that we had in here. And get rid of this. Well, I'm not gonna get rid of it. We can basically post this, take this CSS, put it in here, and then what we say is we can put backticks here, and it's something like $, props. I gotta think about how we do this. Let me go back to style checkbox. Does style checkbox have stuff? It does. So we say $ props. Do this properly. The background, $, and then we say, I'm so bad at this, $, and then we wrap it like this. We do this, props. Now I think the issue is props is declared, but it's never read. Now hopefully this works. I might play it safe and just set up a styled. I might just set up an interface here just to play it safe. Who knows, we might need to add something. Feed post creator progress props. This will just have a percent number for now. I don't know, I just want to be safe with this. This would probably work, but like I said, I don't want things to be broken. I want it to work. Now we'll say props. I'm gonna get rid of this for now, and props, and then we just do the arrow function and then pass in whatever we want. So now what I'm gonna go back to is I'm gonna undo this because I deleted everything, and I'm gonna copy the radial gradient, and then I'll get rid of this and take the radial gradient, and let's see what is broken. Shouldn't need props.active or anything. Props is declared. Left side of comma operators unused. Cannot find name radial. We have to put it inside of quotes. If that's the case, that's really stupid. Guess we'll throw it in backticks. Okay, and now we want this 5% instead of being 5%. We want this to be like $, props dot. There should be a percent, and then percent. So I believe that's what we want instead, and save that. So now let's go ahead and say 23, create the feed post creator progress styled component. This wasn't pretty, but should get the job done. And if we need to add anything, we'll add it to that that props. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. So now what we should be able to do is inside, we can get rid of that. Inside of our post creator TSX, instead of having this div, we should be able to say feed post creator progress, and then throw in %, and let's say like 5, for example. And now it should have the same effect, except it doesn't. Okay, feed post creator progress. Let's see what's going on here. Let's inspect console, feed post creator bottom icons, submit cluster. So it has a div class with a bunch of stuff, but doesn't actually have style div, width, height. So does it not like the radial? It looks like it's about 25 by 25 if we come back in here. So background is broken. Cool. You love to see it. So let's see here. Background radial gradient does not like the background. Because I forgot a comma? Those pesky commas. So we got 5%. Let's say we want to put 10%. What's 10% look like? 10%. So now what we can do is we got 10 minutes. We should have some time. What we can do is set up the percentage calculation. So that should be pretty easy actually. We should just be able to say like post content divided by 256 for post content dot length. And I think should start out as 0. We refresh. We need to make that so it's hidden. Okay, so it's not quite working. Let's go ahead and so we either need to not reload, but we either need a use effect or something else. But if we auto grow, that's also console.log the post content maybe, and make sure that this is growing as it's supposed to. So inspect console. Hello, you should be filling up the bar. Okay, so let's force a re-render, I guess. I don't really love that idea. But it is what it is. So let's see. Or we could say something like this. Const. I don't want to get too ahead of myself here and have to change a whole bunch of stuff. We can say const percentage, set percentage equal to use state number, and it'll start out as 0. And on auto grow, we could say when everything's changed. We can also set percentage, although this is going to be slightly off though. Let's try a use effect, I guess. Probably not the best idea, but let's watch a use effect on post content. And anytime post content changes, we will set percentage to post content divided by 256. It'll be post content dot length, and length is a property So let's try this and see if it wants to work. That should definitely reload. How about now? Okay, it's still not working. Okay, let's see. I don't think we can use a use effect inside of the other one. So percent, passing percentage. We need to get this guy to reload, but I don't think we can't use the use effect in here, so that's not gonna work. Props.percentage, we're passing in that. This child component basically needs to reload each time we make a change here. And it's not. And this should be changing. I'm fairly certain. So if we console.log our percentage, let's make sure this is changing. That's way low. That's probably why. So that should be times 100. So maybe we do this because it's a fraction. Let's times this by 100. To get it to, that might be too much. Hello, we can fill up 256 characters. We can just keep on typing and typing, and the percent is going up like we want. We are almost to now past halfway. Ooh, I didn't like deleting. Ooh, that's not good. Over 200 classes were generated for component style.div with the ID of yada yada yada. It's not like that. That's not good. But okay, we might want to look into that. But it's working. We delete. It's going down. Cool. So let's go ahead and add this. So what we did was, and now I'm curious, do we even need what we did here? So let's copy this again and put it back in here. And let's get rid of the use effect and the percentage because we might not even need it. Hello, we were just not doing this correctly. Now that we have it multiplied by 100, it is actually getting a good rounded number. Cool, that works. All right, so now what we could do is we basically just set up a walkthrough. So now we'll say number 23. Add the feed post creator progress to the feed post creator and give it the percentage. So that's pretty easy. grab that, and I think that's gonna be all we got time for. It's about 7:30 my time, so now I gotta start getting ready for work. Now we got this. Copy this. We're gonna have to like put that in a div again probably, so that we can hide it. But looks good, and I might also just do this so I know exactly where it goes. Cool. So there's that. On Thursday, we'll try to wrap up working on this area of the code, and we'll see kind of where we get to, I guess. And then I'm gonna also try to record some more. I do have some recorded, but looks good. We refresh. This will need to hide, and we need to add a little bit more space. I put space evenly, but not really looking that hot. So then what we'll need to do is, it's probably a good thing too that we're gonna make a div here, because then we can add the whatever it's called, the border on the left or on the right, and kind of go from there. But we're getting closer. Footers might be slightly bigger, and maybe thinner. So, but I think it looks fine. So cool. I appreciate everyone who watched, stopped by, and who has watched to this point. Again, if you do want to check me out or hang out, whatnot, I'm doing it every Tuesday and Thursday around 6 a.m. Central Time, give or take 15 minutes, just because sometimes the baby doesn't like to go down quite so early. So appreciate y'all. See you in the next stream or in any of my other videos. Have a great day.